silly smile walking down the street. I'm not even going to say hot take because I know it's not a hot take. What the hell is going on with 2025 dating? My biggest gripe, the men are not approaching. They're not approaching. They're just keeping to themselves. Maybe we'll give you one look, but barely even that. Nobody's approaching, okay? And I'm going out of my way. I'll have a little smile, keep feet pointed out. I'm open. I'm ready to accept. Does not work. Does not work. And the dating apps, that's a no for me. That is a no. So, is there something else?
Just wanted to address this comment that I had in regards to the post I'd put up about everyone being single nowadays. Excuse me, here by the way, I've just been out in the wind. Which says, forgive me if you disagree, but we're part of a generation who grew up on girl power. It's all about being independent and not needing a man, which I agree with, but the downside is men don't want to... What does it say? It's something about we don't want traditional values, women don't want traditional values. So I just want to say that is not how women think. Like, the women, all my friends are women. Like, everyone I surround myself really is women. That's just naturally because we're kind of probably into the same type of things. And women are pretty traditional. Like, I was in a pub in Dundee, a place called the Trade House, a couple of months ago, and with 3 of my friends. And we went in. I'd never been in before, but we told it was a good place to go, so I thought we'll go there before this Morgan Wallen tribute band. And we went in, and the whole place was men. Every single person in there was men. And you kind of think that you're kind of brought up to think that men will approach you if they're interested. Not a single man in there spoke to any of us, which is just wild because, I don't know. And then as a woman, you don't really want to go up and speak to a man because it's like chase a man. It's all a bit weird. It's how it all works, but I am super traditional, and I would never, and none of my friends would ever find it creepy for a man to come up and speak to us. I think you can get a vibe from someone, a man or a woman, in general, if they're interested or not. I think it only becomes creepy if you are consistently pursuing someone that is obviously showing that they're not interested. But in terms of, not wanting to approach a woman, I think that's really sad that women are happy to be approached. They are. But like with anyone, listen to their words and their body language, and if they seem not interested, then they're not interested. But women do want men to speak to them. Obviously, if they're not in relationships or married, but how are you going to know that? Like, they would tell you that at the time. But yeah, that was my thoughts on your comment.
A lot of these women are happy to be approached by the men that they want to be approached by. And if they don't want to be approached by you, then you're a creep. That's it. Men don't want to be around that type of stuff, man. They just don't.
Ladies, do you know why us men don't even approach anymore or even pursue? It's not the fact that we're immature or that we're mama's boys or even the fact that we're in our feminine energy and we're the ones that want to be chased. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's the labeling. A simple gesture, we're called sexist. One simple compliment is harassment. One wrong word and we're creeps. Nowadays, women are dangerous. It takes 1 second and a man's life is over. It's no longer worth it. The more that we're single for a longer period of time, the more we realize that we're happier, healthier, wealthier. Peace and tranquility is priceless. High risk, low reward.
I see a lot of women saying that men aren't pursuing them. They're not pursuing them anymore. They don't know what they have to do to get a man to pursue them. But listen, let me tell you something. Dating has changed so much post Me Too era. Men, especially younger generations of men, Gen Z, millennial generations, they are not going to pursue women the same way that they pursued women in the past because they don't want to come off as creepy, weird, whatever. Dating has changed. If you are a woman and you want a man, you are going to have to put some effort in. They're not going to chase you like they used to. Or not. Especially if you're dating in the Gen Z millennial range. Like, you're going to have to put some work in if you want a man. They're not going to be calling you, showing up to your house with flowers. That's just creepy now. All right.
I guess I don't understand what they were doing in the first place. You're supposed to be putting in effort and interest in the beginning. I don't know why this is a novel concept.
If a man approaches me and tries to talk to me at a gas station, but you don't offer to pump my gas, I'm not saying pay for my gas. Like, I'll pay for my gas. But if you don't like come up to me and say like, hey, like, let me like, you know, pump that, let me take care of, let me do that for you, I'm not entertaining you. Like, you've already shown me how the rest of my life with you is gonna look, and I'm not here for it. Like, I'm not doing it. And obviously, like, nobody's obligated to do this. Like, I'm gonna have to pump my gas regardless. Like, I'll have to do it. And maybe it's also just because I'm a Southern woman, and like, these are the things I grew up seeing. Like, I'm like a Southern woman, like born and raised Louisiana. But like, I'm not entertaining that. You've already shown me how the rest of my life with you will look. And I just feel like it's such a small indicator. I feel the same way even about like opening doors. Like, if I'm by you and you let me open the door for myself and then you later try to talk to me, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not entertaining that.
No. No, I'm not doing it.
This might be a hot take, but I love when men approach women in the gym. I think that if done correctly, approaching a woman in the gym is amazing move for any man, whether you're trying to make a friend or try to shoot your shot. I love when a man does that. 2 ways I've seen men do it that I personally, as a woman who is cuffed, was like, that was a good line. One way I had a guy do it was he came up to me and asked how I did hip thrusts to not hurt my back. So he was essentially asking me for gym advice other than the mansplaining they typically do. And the second way, which just happened to me, a guy asked me what kind of athlete I was. And I looked at him dumbfounded and he said, what are you training for? I was like, me? Still me? And I just loved that approach. If you're gonna talk to women, do it that way. Don't be creepy, don't stare at her, don't get close and try to look at her booty while she's hitting leg day. What I just shared is the appropriate way to talk to a woman at the gym.
I mean, a lot of men are doing this, but then there's women out there that say exactly what you're saying. That was a good line. If he was attractive, to me, or he looked like this, or he did that. If not, it's just creepy.
Men aren't approaching women anymore. Not because they're mama's boys, not because they're man-child or scared or whatever it is you call them these days. You know why? Because one wrong word and they're labeled creeps. One compliment and it's harassment. One traditional gestures and they're called sexists. So they've learned to leave you alone. Then you wonder why chivalry is dead, why dating apps are the only option. Congratulations, women. We've played ourselves.
As someone that used to be the queen, the PhD holder of people telling me, men telling me, I just look intimidating. They just didn't think they had a shot with me. I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you that you're not intimidating. A man is just thinking that if he looked like you, he would not be dating somebody like him. But, however, if you're willing to lower your standards and come to him, who is he to disapprove? Come on in. You need to start thinking the same way. Let people admire you. Let people look at you and think, wow, she takes such good care of herself. She carries herself so well. She looks fantastic. Let them come. Let them admire. If they do not approach, do not make scenarios in your head as to why they didn't approach. It doesn't have any bearings on you. It doesn't make you less worthy. It doesn't make you less attractive. Just move on. Let people see you and move on.
Well, I think I would also add, and maybe this is what you're saying, I would also add that men have heard a lot of times, I'm too pretty for you. You're not even in my league. Why would you even think that? Where are these gremlins, these bridge trolls? Where are they coming from? So when a man hears that type of stuff, it becomes implanted in his psyche, maybe even subconsciously. And he's like, well, I mean, I don't know what they're looking for. So maybe they're looking for something else. Because I thought, based on what I've heard from other women, that I look good. But I guess from hearing from these ladies, I don't look that good. So I'm kind of confused about that.
Seriously, don't look at their social media. Block them on all their socials. I know you want to let them see you looking good and doing fun things and going out, but it is not worth having the constant urge to check, did they look at my stories? What are they doing? What are they doing? I promise you social media just isn't real in that aspect. My ex, I was looking at his social media when we were no contacts for 6 months, and it looked like he was having the time of his life. It looked like the new city he lived in was amazing, and he was having all these great experiences, and I was so down about it. Turns out when we started talking again, he talked about how much he hated the new city that he was living in, how he didn't really make any new friends, and like his social media told the opposite story. So Seriously, it's really hard and it sucks, but you have to release that habit from your life in order to move on.
3 days later.
No, unfortunately, it's not okay to blame women. Because if you're in a space where it's socially acceptable to talk to women and you still choose not to, for whatever reason, then at that point it's your fault. And I think that it's okay to acknowledge that some of us do have rejection wounds, right? Rejection's not easy. But if you're in a space where you can heal that rejection wound and put into practice what it is to actually talk to people who you may be afraid to talk to, because usually it's not acceptable for you to talk to them, then you have to put that into practice. You can't just keep saying, well, women are the reason why I can't talk to women, and you're in a room full of women who are waiting for you to talk to them. Like, babes, like, do the work. Be the change that you want to see.
Ma'am, you don't have to guess. These women are at singles events saying that they don't want men to. I don't want that man to talk to me. We just came from the singles event. It's just a bunch of ugly men. It's just a bunch of men that I did not want to know. I did not want to be around. I had a terrible night. Men get online and they hear this stuff. Are y'all listening to what you're saying?
These days, a lot of single men have stopped approaching women. They're afraid of rejection, of being seen as disrespectful, and social media makes every bad interaction look even worse. Plus, with changing social norms, many men just don't know what's okay anymore. For women who want real connections, it's frustrating. The truth is, if we want to change this, women need to be a little more open, send clear, welcoming signals, and show appreciation when a man approaches respectfully.
If you have to game a girl out of you are just as bad as the guy that does physical
Nah, they on the same spectrum. I don't know who it is.
Absolutely.
What about when the girl games
right.
God?
What's that? That's the R word.
She's the same thing.
It's called a
city girl.
Right.
I swear, y'all, some of y'all get on these podcasts and lose your minds. So what you telling me is, if I go out and I got the sauce and I get a shawty to like me, that's the same thing as being in a relationship with her and bass? I'm just gonna assume that this is girl math because this doesn't make any sense. Then Rico ping-ponged the question back to them and they said women that finesse men are just city girls. Our American educational system has failed us once more. Never thought I'd see the day where being charming to a woman and getting her to like you, which is something we all have to do, is equivalent to you turning her face if she makes you upset. Don't mind her. She just projected. Somebody got over on her, so now she wants everybody to feel her wrath. Don't even pay it no mind. But hey, with that being said, y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel. Y'all keep the change.
And even if it wasn't, well, I heard something differently. I think she was saying men are predatory, yada, yada, yada. Even if a man was trying to coerce you into doing something, that is not the same thing as him physically putting his hands on you. It's not the same thing. He's not on the face. He's not grabbing you and wringing you by your neck and making you do that. Now, I can see if he got on here and he said, you know what? I tell you what, since you ain't going to do that, I got my boys. I got my boys about to do something to you. Now what? Now he's using his words to direct people to put their hands on you. So yes, that would be basically the same. But if he's saying, come on, but please, come on, man. I just want it. He's begging at that point in time. He's desperate. It's disgusting. It's manipulative. I get it. But I do not think it's the same thing. Even though it is very disgusting behavior, it is not the same thing as a man putting his hands on you.
Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Y'all already know what I'm gonna say. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Y'all already know. Like, which one is it? The equation isn't balanced. It's not equal on both sides. Come on now. I know some of y'all ain't used to basic math. Which one is it, ladies? Which one is it, pander men? Which one are the men all weird and all these men are approaching these women? Or Are y'all so angry and so upset that men aren't approaching y'all? That we're hanging out with each other and y'all are using homophobic insinuations? Which one is it? Can one of y'all, can some of y'all with the podcast mics come out and explain this? I mean, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense to me because I know what it is, but if we're going to use logic here, it doesn't make sense for what y'all are trying to prove and what y'all are saying on it. We just spent an entire week and now here we are next week, and you got videos being pushed out like this one, like the one I just showed you, and videos like this. First off, be the one that ain't having no fun. All I saw was a group of homies having a good time, not wasting the $30 they probably paid to get up in there. You the loser. Yeah, a grown man over there minding his business, having fun, and you the loser sitting over there recording him. First off, why the y'all always feel so comfortable recording somebody? That's number one. That's number one. Again, then y'all get upset that which one is it? Are these men minding their business, living their best life with their partners in these dangerous areas that y'all say men harass and assault y'all? Or are all these men approaching y'all? Two things can be true. Not when you say majority. Not when you say majority. In most. In these broad generalizations that y'all love to do. Y'all over there begging to have niggas come approach y'all for some attention, but then get on it. That's what it is. The nigga ain't approaching y'all, and y'all mad, so you gotta get on the internet and make up stories. Try to like Jedi mind trick and revert like that. Ha!
Kia said, God forbid these men have girlfriends/wives and are having a guy's night out. Exactly. LaAnt95 says, I just approached a woman in the club on Sunday night. She looked at me like I was trying to rob her. You can't win. Netta said, do y'all blame them? They're tired of being treated like they're disposable. Exactly. Another dude said they hate it when we don't beg or feed their egos. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's such an interesting phenomenon how a man gets hotter when he leaves you alone. I know to some men that sounds like an insult, but stick with me. When a man is bold enough to come up and ask you for something, like a little bit of your time to talk, while simultaneously respectful enough to give you space and respect your no, that makes him so much more attractive. I actually just saw this video about this girl saying that like a man wanting to do more, and then her saying like, no, I'm not in the mood right now, and then him saying like, oh, okay, that's no problem, we could just watch the show. She said that makes her want him so much more all of a sudden. She's like, wait, actually, I changed my mind, let's do it. And I related so hard to that. It's not like we don't like talking to men or having sex with men. For most of us, our favorite memories involve a man. Most of us get so excited to be talking to a man. Most of us dream someday of marrying a man and having a family with a man. We love men. We're just a little afraid of them. Because they're powerful, they're big, and they're strong, and a lot of them feel entitled to certain things. We don't know how safe we are with you. It's not that we think you're some dangerous monster that we don't want to associate with. It's that we know you're bigger and stronger than us, and so we have to be cautious just in case you're not safe. And it's really hard to feel attraction to someone if you're not sure yet if you're safe or not. But when a man shows with his words and actions that he is safe, that he will respect your boundaries, that he won't stalk you, and that he's emotionally regulated enough to be okay with being told no sometimes, that opens the door for us to settle into considering whether or not we find this man attractive. Now, for the men watching, that doesn't mean that you just sit on the sidelines, do nothing, and women will start approaching you. We want to know you feel attracted to us, you find us desirable, and you're safe. So that means shooting your shot, letting her know your feelings, letting her know what you want, and also respecting the no. One of the biggest tips I can give a man is never overstay your welcome. As soon as a woman shows even the slightest sign of maybe feeling uncomfortable, you leave. Leave kindly and respectfully, but leave. Brenna, what if I'm reading it wrong? That's fine. That's better, actually. You're building anticipation. Women love anticipation. It's like foreplay, but for conversations. Foreplay is arguably our favorite part. If you ended it because she was uncomfortable, great, you did the right thing. If you were wrong and she wasn't uncomfortable, you just made yourself the man who's very intriguing. Red pill dudes will literally give the advice, like leave women alone a little bit, like don't give them too much attention. They think it's because we want people to treat us badly or something, because they're not very smart and are bad listeners. They're wrong about the reasoning, but they're right about the actions. A man who's not pestering you is probably a safe man. A man who's saying, I'm really nice and respectful, you don't have to worry about me, I'm a really good guy, and not leaving you alone, he's scarier than the guy who's just walking away. A guy say once, like, women don't want you to be too desperate about them. Disagree. Most women want a man to be desperate for her. They want him to be falling over for her. But only if it's actually desperate for me, not just desperate for a woman, any woman's contact. I love attention. I love someone desperately wanting me, but I want to make sure I'm safe first and foremost. If you're cornering me, not giving me enough space, giving stalker vibes, I can't be attracted to you because I'm too busy being concerned about you. I've had men approach me before and thought to myself, like, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me. And then they stop far away from me and they say something like, is it okay if I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, yeah. Because in that split second of them pausing, giving me space, asking for permission, they just showed this respect for my boundaries that made me feel safe and comfortable. And I thought, what the hell, I'll give them a chance. It's not that women don't know what they want or they want to play these games. It's that we want to feel safe. And there are things that might not feel unsafe to you that feel unsafe to us.
I think great advice, by the way, but I just think men get to the point to where they don't want to play these games anymore. It's like, well, if you don't respect boundaries, then it's going to be a game to you. No, I just think you guys want men to consider you all the time, and y'all don't consider a man. Like, it's, well, give me the space to do this, give me space to do that. But then when it comes time for a man, and a lot, not you, but in a lot of other situations with a lot of other women, when it comes time for you to give the man the signal or give the man the knots, I mean, help me out, do something. Oh, I'm not helping a man do that. Well, we don't know each other. It doesn't seem like we're really sure about each other. Why don't we go here? Why don't we make it low stakes, low risk? That way we can both get to know each other. Are you broke? Just say that. I think sometimes it goes beyond approaching. Men are starting to calculate in their head when they say, oh man, she's beautiful. Man, it might be easy to approach. But then they're like, oh, maybe on second thought, I don't want the headache. I'll just stay by myself.
Hey y'all, so as a continuation from my last video, I have a couple of questions. Okay, so, I want to dispel a myth, and that myth is that just because you are attractive, just because you are pretty, just because you're deemed, beautiful or whatever the case may be by the world standards, does not mean that you get approached, okay? Like I said again, it's weird to me because, like I said, I'll get stuff paid for anonymously. People will pay for stuff at the bars and food and drinks and, just all the things and gifts and so on and so forth. Groceries, but they won't approach you to talk to you. And so I'm curious as to why that happens. And my girlies know exactly what I'm talking about. And I understand that it might be from, for the fear of rejection, or maybe they feel like, you're with somebody, but you'll never know until you ask. Now, for those men who have girlfriends, wives, you're just in a relationship. I appreciate the fact that you stay over there and you just look. I appreciate if you want to pay it forward. We appreciate the free gifts. I'm cool with that. But I'm glad that you are respectful enough to stay on your side. Okay. But like I said, with that being said, why not the approach? Now, for as far as I'm concerned, I want whoever I'm dating or going to, is going to be with or whatever, to approach me. I don't approach men. I know that might sound hypocritical. I don't approach men. I'm not, and I'll be single if that's the case, because I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not. So call me old school, whatever the case may be. I want my man to, or whoever I'm going to be with, to take some initiative. If I'm expecting for you to lead me anywhere in the future, I need you to put one foot in front of the other, you know what I'm saying, and come approach like this, just slide up in there real quick. But, you know what I'm saying, just slide on up in there for me real fast. But, and just, approach me and say hello and hi, and so on and so forth, and just kind of see where it goes. But yeah, just comment in the comments. I am curious to hear from both sides, guys and girls, what the girls think about why they don't, and what the guys, what the guys' take is on it. Just let me know, because I'm curious. I'm getting back out here dating again, so y'all let me know. And as always, y'all be easy.
Well, I just assumed that you're married because of the ring on your hand, or so I thought, but maybe I misread that. But I think maybe sometimes, it's just like buying a drink at a bar. When I send it to you, I'm expecting you to turn and, hey, how's it going? You know, and kind of gave me the nod. But a lot of times, for a lot of these women, it doesn't matter if you are pretty or not. You have to be approachable. That's why you see or hear in some of these videos that a woman that might be quote unquote a 7, she gets approached because she has open energy. She's I'm approachable. Hey, come talk, man. Come on, man. She's kind of loose with it. You know, now you don't have to allow everybody in. And then once again, you have to figure out how to, because that's your job, figure out how to field who's actually good and who's actually bad. You have to take some part in this whole relationship. It can't be like, okay, prove yourself to me. I get it, but you have to do some work too. And too many times women don't want to do any work. They just want the man to do everything. I'm so tired of doing everything. I just want the man to... No, it doesn't work like that. You've got to do some things as well. But when the man buys your groceries, this man brought your groceries. And if you know, if there's something on there somewhere where you can get in contact with him, maybe you can text, hey, I appreciate you buying my groceries. Maybe he can text back, hey man, no problem. Hey, my name is Daryl, by the way. Would love to take you out. Here's what I look like, or here's my Instagram if you want to stalk it a little bit, because I know stranger danger. Here's some of the X, Y, and Z. We can have a phone call or a FaceTime. How does tomorrow night sound at about 7? That sort of thing. It opens a line of communication, but you have to give effort. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of women don't want to do that. So when a man buys you coffee or a drink or something like that, you got to do something for him. You got to give him something.
Cardi B is the prime example of why you don't shoot your shot at a man. You let that man chase you. You let that man approach you. Because she was all at that award show talking about how she wanted Offset. Now, at that time, he was doing the same stuff he's doing now that's causing her to divorce him. He did not first come at Cardi B like, hey, I want to settle down. I want to be with you. I want you to be my wife. I want to have a family with you. I don't want no other woman. No, you went after that man. And as a man, he took it. No, that's not to say that he not wrong for what he doing, because at the end of the day, they got married. They signed papers. They signed a commitment to each other. And he wrong. But it is the reason why you don't go chasing after no man. That's the reason why you don't make the first move as a woman. Because at the end of the day, he not going to respect you. And he's going to feel like he's the prize. Because guess what? You chased him. He didn't chase you, babes.
This is not a good take at all. And she tried to use the fact that she was married to validate, oh, well, I'm happily married, been married. That's still a terrible take. It's a terrible take. And the people, men and women in the comments are telling you, this is a terrible take. Why do you have this? This is silly. No, she just picked a bad person. She picked a dude that in an industry known for them bragging and doing all of the, well, you can't stereotype all rappers. It doesn't have to be all rappers. You don't even have to look at all rappers. You can just look at him and say, well, maybe this is not the best man. But because y'all after that fast lifestyle, that fast life, that whatever you want, oh, we're just going to do this, pop bottles and all that stuff. What do you think that you're going to get after that? What do you think that you're going to get? And she got exactly that. It's not a surprise. It's like Sierra getting with Future. What do you guys think is going to happen? These are not, unfortunately, not good, upstanding citizens. They're just not. They might have good things to say, but in general, their life is not going to follow the pattern of a good, upstanding, normal citizen. They don't have to.
I just saw this video a clip of the B. Simone new podcast, and she had some guy on there or whatever, and she was just talking about how when she's out and about, men don't talk to her, right? Like they don't approach her or whatever. And she was kind of referencing where she spoke about it before, and one of the reasons why she thinks men do not talk to her or approach her. And I kind of want to touch on that. And I never really get into the whole like what's going on in pop culture, if you will, but some things came to my mind, and I think they're worth observing. So even while I was listening to that clip or watching that clip, one of the things I noticed was she doesn't listen to respond or even to understand. She listens very reactive. Like, it's really so she can get her words out, or like, and I say get her words out, but it's like she's listening to respond, not necessarily to understand. So you may not even be able to get your full thought out without her, or before she's already jumped on the first two sentences or the first couple of words you've said. And to me, that's very combative. It's like, I know you would think like combative. It's like, yeah, she seems like she's just like, you know, it doesn't give serene, it gives siren, and not in the way that, you know what I'm saying, it's sexy. Because I know for myself, I speak about being caliente, you know what I'm saying, real caliente, baby. I'm very spicy, but I also know how to simmer down, you know, and to me, she does not give off chill vibes. She does not give off simmer down. She gives off rah, 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 loud, in your face, and you're never gonna have peace with me. And so it's not really worth the headache. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I get when I see her speak on these podcasts, especially, I would just say, in regards to the whole why men are not approaching her. And let's talk about the man's response. So the dude was like, because what she said was, she thinks the reason why men do not approach her when she's out is because she looks bummy. You know, she has on a hoodie and sweats or whatever. And she said that she feels she looks taken. And the dude corrected her, and he was like, no, really, if a man sees you in a hoodie or whatever and he likes you, you know what I'm saying, he's going to approach you. But it's really about what you're giving off, what he feels. And so she kind of circled back on that, and she was like, well, you know, he could feel like, you know, I'm taken, or like, I don't, how did she say it? Something like, I'm not really putting myself together because maybe today I don't feel like I'm my best, you know what I'm saying? Or I didn't put myself together today, you know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling, I guess you could say, crappy, right? So I look crappy, right? But like I said, it wasn't with the idea of really understanding what is repelling the man. It was more like, I just want to say something after you say something. Like, I get dialogue, but I don't know why it gives me combative. It's like you're gonna always have something to say, and that's just something that I get from her. One thing I've learned with men in general is, I mean, especially having sons, is men like to be heard. I know it sounds simple, but if you listen to him, and I think Erykah Badu spoke about this before, but if you listen, you got him, babe. You got him. And I'll also say, like, there was one point in time, which is the reason why I can see in B. Simone these things, these character traits, is because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been that argumentative person, that person who always had something to say. I always have a response. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to have the last word type, you know, energy. And I think a portion of that is because we as women, right, we have a slick mouth, but also sometimes we're just too smart for our own good. You know, like, of course I have something to say, you know what I'm saying? But it's with wisdom and even grace, right? With age, I've learned that just because I have something to say doesn't mean I need to say it. And it's okay for me to listen, because I'm really going to find out more about the situation by me listening. And listening, of course, is a skill, but I will also share this. I remember in my past life meeting up with say an old associate or whatever, and it was her and two other guys, and these were her friends, if you will, like people she knew. And the entire time we were there, they were having this whole discourse, this whole conversation, and I was silent. And during that conversation, you know, she was speaking, she was doing, you know, the bulk of the conversation, and it was always just like back, you know what I'm saying, like ping pong, back to back. Every time they said something, she had something to say, even if what she was saying didn't necessarily make sense to me. And this is my past life, so let me be very clear. I'm gonna say this, okay, disclaimer. This is when I was very, say, in my shell. I knew not to dim my light because with this particular person, I knew that they were male-centered, even if I didn't have the language for that. But I also knew that this person saw me as competition. And even then, I did not have the language for that. Like, these were things subconsciously I knew. These are things intuitively I knew. And yet, I was still in that stage where I was in denial about these things. So, because these were her friends, her partners, her, you know what I'm saying? And these are men on top of that, and I know that she wants to be the center of attention, I really didn't add anything to the discussion. So I was silent, though I'm listening, and being that I am listening to everyone's perspective, by the end of that conversation, I really could discern more, and that's the beauty of silence and listening. But let me tell you what tripped her up in the end of that. When they were done, like at the end, towards the end of the conversation, you know what I'm saying? Because dude, at this point, he's tired of arguing. And I say dude, but it's really two of them. They're tired of arguing. I'm just, I'm her friend, right? I'm there with her. You know what I'm saying? I'm third wheeling, if you will, fourth wheeling, whatever you want to call it. And dude finally looks over at me. He finally looks over at me and he says, man, listen, you have been quiet this entire time. I want to know what you think. You've listened to everybody's perspective. I want to know what you think. And if you could have seen her face, like, I done said all that. I've been going back and forth with y'all. I've been engaging with you. I've been giving you all this energy, and you've been waiting on her to say something. Oh my God. It pays to listen. I learned that. Just thought I'd share.
And that's what a lot of men will do. That last part, they'll be like, okay, I got my argument. You got your, let's see who's right. Let's step back and see who's right. You've been listening. You've been hearing both sides. You give me the final analysis. Tell me what we need to know. And because she knew she was saying some silly stuff, then she was like, oh man, my friend's supposed to back me up. Oh girl, don't make me look stupid. You made yourself look stupid. I didn't do anything. So that's what you have to be careful of. And I appreciate her and women like her sitting back and listening. Men are not always going to be right. That's just, it's just a fact of the matter. Men have to accept that. They have to be accountable for that. They have to be responsible and have enough integrity to say, hey bro, I missed the mark on that. When men are in leadership, when they're in a relationship with their wife and they miss it, or they yell or they say some things that they shouldn't have said. As a matter of fact, the other day, man, we were, man, all right, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. So we were at an event, right? And I was supposed to be up speaking, and I hadn't been given previous notice that I was gonna be speaking. So usually, I gotta go in there and I gotta set the event up. I gotta do everything. It's just a lot that's on me, and I'm frustrated. Now my wife is helping me as she usually does. She'll come in and help and try to, what do you need me to do? Or, and I'll tell her, and then, what she knows how to do, she knows how to do it. And then when I go and try to do that part, she's like, no, what are you doing? Stop doing that. That's the only part I know how to do. You're going to take it away from me. Let me do this part and you go do everything else. So I really, really appreciate her for that. So we're setting up and she's got, kind of like lively music playing and stuff like that. So it's time for me to teach or speak or whatever it is. Excuse me. And she's still got the music up. Now she's turned the music down, but it's not all the way off. And I'm like, come on, like turn the music off. I'm getting frustrated. And I eventually, and mind you, there's people in here. Some of the people are family. These people know us, right? So I didn't snap like, man, why are you doing that? But if anybody was paying attention, they could see that there was conflict, and not because of her, but because of me and the look that I had on my face, like the way I was acting. And so after the event, I really wanted to say it after I got down, but there wasn't any time. She just sat back there. She was upset about it. But then once I started speaking and engaging, obviously there was engagement from the crowd and stuff like that, and people were giving their commentary. And then she jumped in and started giving her commentary. She was obviously not happy about that, but she was engaging and helping me to move the topic along. And then after the engagement, when we got home, I said, hey, I forgot to do this, but I did want to apologize to you because, I should never talk to you that way. That wasn't right of me to do that. That wasn't right of me to clown you like that, right? And she's like, oh, it's okay. I know you're frustrated about this and that. But as men, we have to work to get better at what we did. Hey, man, you can't keep on doing that. You can't keep on saying, oh, I'm sorry I did it, and keep on doing that. You got to change, man. And so that's what a lot of men want women to understand. You putting accountability and responsibility on me, and I got to throw it back at you. If I got to change my part, then so do you. If you say to me, ma'am, you wrong, I agree with her on this, and this, but I agree with you on this, and this, then I got to take what you disagree with me on, analyze it and assess it, and see how I can apply it to my life. And we would hope that the woman, your friend in this situation, would have done the same. But the look on her face tells us that she wasn't ready to do that. She was just looking for somebody to back her up, regardless of if she was right or wrong. And there's a lot of women out there, not all of them, but a lot of them out there that will do this and will expect their friends to hype them up. I'm remembering a video clip of where a woman was talking about, why do we do this to each other? Why do we continue to feed into each other's delusions? Why do we continue to hype each other up when we know we're dead wrong? We see each other being dead wrong and we never correct each other and say, hey man, let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. Because your feelings, because you want to be right. Instead of humbling yourself. I know it sucks. I get it. I had to learn the lesson the hard way. It sucks. You don't want to do it, but it's best especially when you're caught dead to rights, to just be like, you know what? I did. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. But too many times you see a lot of these young ladies continue to fight back, continue to, oh, well, I'm just going to keep on. I got a point to God. No. You've been caught dead to rights. And as you learn in a relationship, it'll get better. It's not going to feel good. It's probably never ever going to feel good. But you learn in being with each other because you like each other. You love each other so much. You learn, I don't want to stay in this state anymore. I don't want to stay in. We know we're going to have rough patches, but let's figure out how to get in and out of the rough patch. Some are longer than others, and some it's just a nasty feeling. But let's remember we're on the same team. Let's remember to work together. And if I see him stumbling, if I know I got him dead to rights, I'm going to back off and say, but to your point, X, Y, and Z, I'm going to throw him a bone. And I expect him to do the same for me. And that lightens the mood a little bit because we know I got you and you got me. I know we did something that we weren't supposed to be doing, but hey, we in this together. I understand your point of view. You understand mine. Hey, but moving forward, let's try to see if we can do X, Y, and Z. And that makes the relationship so much better for everybody else. But when you got this type of attitude, you don't understand that men are going to sense it. They're going to get tired of it and they're just going to leave. That's facts, man.